going to show you how to book an in-person session into your Kiku diary. Now what you're seeing at the diary view here is the regular availability that I've programmed into my practice setting. So when you're initially setting up your Kiku account, if you're on the therapy planner or the works support plans, you will be asked to define your clinic addresses and define your availability. Have a quick look at that. So here you can see that you can add multiple clinic addresses. Once they're programmed into the system, they will then be options for you to define within your availability where you're working from on a given day. So if I click on one of these sessions for Tuesday, I have the option now to either book it in for an existing client or create a new client record. If it's an existing client, as your practice grows, you might find you've got a lot of names in this list. So all you need to do is start typing the first name in, and that system will take you to the relevant client. And then obviously it's just a select. Next section is your appointment details. So you know that you've clicked on the right time there within the diary, but that can be checked, making sure that it's the correct service type, the correct session type for the booking. And it's a face-to-face booking that I'm creating. Now within my regular availability, I've let the system know that on a Tuesday I work from the clearer, and so it's automatically applied that to this 11 AM time slot. Obviously within the booking, you've got the capability to make changes to the location if for whatever reason there's been a change of plans. You'll be asked to define the payment method, so this is how you want the client to make payment. If you want the client to make payment using the payment links that we issue and the payment reminder emails, you would select Kiku account. If you want to take payment yourself by card using the Kiku system, you would select the card Kiku. Obviously cash, card, other, these will be payments that are being processed outside of the system but usually within the actual session. So you wouldn't want to schedule a payment request email for these payment types. But if you're processing your client payments via bank transfer, you would select the BACS option, and that will give you the option as well to issue a payment reminder message if your policy is that you take payment prior to the session. Within the repeat section, you can define whether or not this is going to be a regular booking for the client. You have the option to book it in on a weekly basis at the same time, on a fortnightly basis, every 4 weeks, depending on the agreement that you have with your client. If I decide to make a weekly booking, I can then determine the number of repeats. So this is useful if you are working in a time limited way and the agreement is that you are going to see each other at the same time for the next 6 weeks. You could just program that in very simply. If it's an open-ended piece of work, what I tend to do is just book the client in for the next couple of months, knowing that any changes within that repeat can be easily managed within the system. Appointments can be quickly removed if I then book in some leave, or if the client needs a different time, the series can be rescheduled and that can be applied to the whole and the remaining appointments within the series. Your send notifications section is basically you letting the system know whether or not you want your appointment confirmation message to go out to the client when you make this booking. If I select yes, then because it is a therapy session that I'm booking in rather than an initial consultation, they will receive my returning client's appointment confirmation email. Finally, you've got the schedule email reminders option. Here you can schedule in an appointment reminder that will be issued either via email or the Kiku inbox, depending on your client's communication preferences. And you can also schedule in a payment reminder to go out X amount of days prior to the session. Whatever you schedule in that first booking will be applied to the rest of the series. So once I know that I've put in a appointment reminder to go out the day before, I know that every week that is going to go out for this particular client. And there you have it, face-to-face session booked in. So here I can check the appointment details. See that it's face-to-face, meeting at the clearing, and check the appointment price is correct, and I've selected the payment method backs. Here I can see that I've scheduled an appointment reminder for this session to go out the day before the appointment, and I've also scheduled a payment request email to go out 2 days before the appointment in line with my payment policy. Once the appointment is booked, you can make an edit to the appointment if you find that you've made a mistake. You can change the session format, you can change the location, and you can reschedule the appointment. You can alter the payment method. You can also amend the service cost if you've decided you're going to apply a discount, or for some reason you're going to be seeing each other for a different session duration, so a different fee applies. And you can also make an edit to whatever email reminders have been scheduled. You'll then be given the option to apply any of these changes to the future bookings. And you can also update the client on these changes. Now, if you're unsure what notifications are then going to be issued to the client, go into your communications and templates section and the automated emails, and here you can view your templates. So because she's going to be paying by bank transfer, that's paying outside of the Kiku system, it's the following template that she'll receive for the payment request email that goes out 2 days before the appointment reminder. It's a standard appointment reminder there. Go out to the client the day before. If I'm ever unsure what communications have been issued by the system on my behalf, I can go to the client record. Start scrolling down the page and you'll see a quick links box appear. Go straight to communications history, and then you'll be able to view all of the messages and any text messages that have been issued on your behalf via the system.